you were telling about your grandfather, I heard there was a story that I read about recently, dealing with J.C. Penney, right? Do you know that you know about J.C. Penney and how he used his life insurance policies?
No, I don't.
Okay, so when J.C. Penney's, when he started working for the owners, of these stores. And they had a few stores. They were going to open up a third store. They said, hey, if you want to run this store, you can. He ended up running the store. He did well. The other owners, they started having some type of conflict. He ended up buying them out. He bought the 3 stores, and that's how he became J.C. Penney's, right? That's how it became J.C. Penney's. So in 1929, when the Great Depression hit, basically the entire economy shut down and he was about to lose everything. But he had a life insurance policy with cash value that he utilized to fund his payroll through the Great Depression to keep his business open. Isn't that crazy?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's creative too. Yeah.
Very creative. So, it's like, yeah. Now he was doing it on a consumer side, right? So what I've also seen is I see nonprofit organizations that are connected with agencies. Like they'll own an agency, and the agency is helping to fund the initiatives, for the nonprofit. There's education foundations that are doing this. There was a transportation type of foundation that I saw in DC that was doing something like this. There's so many opportunities there, and I commend you for saying, hey, look, we can leverage this, because it'd be great if more people thought on that scale, right?
Right.
Because there are so many opportunities. So you guys at J. Morey, and I know Origin is kind of branching out, being more philanthropic, but at J. Morey, you guys are specializing in the property and casualty side. Like where are you guys spending most of your activity focus?
Yeah, we're pretty much property and casualty based. We do have, so one of our partners under Origin does only human life benefits. So we do cross-selling with them since we're all under one umbrella. And the same thing in Hawaii too. Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, your audio is kind of cutting in a little bit. It is right now. We'll see as we continue to speak,
Oh, I'm sorry. these AirPods,
Yes. My wife and I go back and forth about the Apple and Android thing, all the time.
Yeah. And I'm here in LA. It's 100 degrees outside, and my kids are screaming out in the house. So I have the garage closed, and I'm burning up in here.
Oh, nice.
Humanizing what we do here is, I'm trying to have a quiet place. It's the only quiet place.
Exactly, man. Quiet place with kids. You got young ones too. Yours are what? 974.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you got babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So okay. No, we'll keep going with the audio there, but no, you were saying as far as the specialization. So you got the human services under Origin, the PNC, the property and casualty under J. Morey. Is there anything else that you guys are typically working inside of, doing any specialties out in your neck of the woods out there in Cali?
So we're going to be launching a wealth management platform later this year as well. There's just so many opportunities with the current clientele we have to be able to now also provide like 401k services for businesses or wealth management services for our clients. So we're going to be launching that later this year. And then, our whole thing is anybody that joins our Origin family, we want them to maintain their name, their legacy, their commitment to their communities. So we have Noguchi and Associates in Hawaii, which is one of the largest agencies in Hawaii under our umbrella. And so that's a distinct part of us, is that everyone does have a unique story and legacy, but now we can share resources at the top with Origin, from IT to InsurTech, accounting, HR, and whatnot.
No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Look, and you got, if I'm not mistaken, now you have the largest Asian American owned agency. Is it?
That's correct. In the country, yeah.
In the country, right. I told you guys, this is a big deal, man. This guy's a big deal right now. So look, okay, all right. So I'm gonna step away from the industry for a moment. I want to talk about just Josh the man. More so, I want to talk about Josh the boy. Okay, I want to go way back, 9, 10 years old. Did you know that you would be going into this industry? Is this where you always wanted to be? What did you dream of being when you grew up?
So as a boy, I wanted to be a player in the MLB, and that's what I dedicated my childhood to, is baseball, baseball and soccer, really. And so, yeah, at 9 years old, I was going in my dad's office cleaning the toilets, and so that was my only frame of reference for insurance. So I was like, I want no part of this. And yeah, but my dream was to be a professional baseball player.
Okay, all right, nice. So, okay, so you're a young athlete. How do you find your way into this? So you played in high school. You were playing all the way through high school. Played in college as well.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
How do you find your way into the business? Like, how does it grab you and reel you in?
So let's see. So after high school, I had to make a decision where I wanted to play college baseball, and so I chose a school called Wheaton College back in Chicago.
Okay.
And that's a whole story in of itself. But at the end of the day, it's where I was meant to be. Okay. And after college, actually went to Japan for 2 years with a group called Athletes in Action, and got to host a lot of international games. Also got to play a little bit of professional baseball while I was there. And my whole dream was to come back and to play in the MLB. Now, end up coming back, and those dreams, I think I'm realizing I'm probably not good enough to make it there. And so the next step was that, okay, what do you want to do? I want to work for MLB, or I want to become a college baseball coach. And so I went, and if you want to be a college baseball coach, you have to have a master's. So I went to school and got my master's degree. And while I was trying to pay for my master's degree, this was 08, 09. And, I couldn't get a job anywhere to pay for grad school because, the recession. And the only job I could get was selling office supplies door to door, and literally was given a map, right and tight around every block, hit 130 doors a day. And if I got 2 sales, and this is 100 degrees outside right now, I'm walking around in a suit and a what looked like a phone book to try to sell office supplies. And surprisingly, I did decently well. And I told my dad after I went to grad school that, they're giving me an opportunity to continue working here. And so I'm going to pay off grad school, continue working. There's a company called Quill.
No, Quill. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he says, well, if you're why wouldn't you do insurance? And are you getting any recurring revenue from each sale that you're hustling on? And so he convinced me to get into insurance. The deal was I would only do it until I paid off grad school. But, 15 years later, this is where I am.
Right. So starts as temporary, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a minute. So and maybe, do you think that played into your benefit to, work with that company, do that door to door, really kind of establish, that type of regiment? Do you think that helped you when you made the transition into the business?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Selling office supplies door to door was not easy. And so selling insurance after that was a piece of cake. Right. So it definitely did prepare me.
No, I wanted to point that out because, I find that, if you work hard in another industry, specifically in a sales industry, and you make the transition to come into this industry, your likelihood of success is going to be way more likely because of just the rhythm. Like that door to door, like you going door to door, you said 130 doors a day in 100-degree weather. Yeah. Yep. So like just establishing that rhythm, you get accustomed to that. You get used to it. Yeah. I remember when I first got licensed, when I first got into the industry, and I started in worksite benefits, I had never. I was not big on driving long distances. If it was 2 hours was far, right? Mm-hmm. But over time, listen, it would be 5 hours one way, do what you got to do, kind of come right back, and that's the day, and it kind of is what it is. It's like you get conditioned into certain things, and for you, that probably happened twice because obviously as an athlete, you had to be very disciplined with your day-to-day. Then you took this sales job and you're doing that day-to-day. and now you just bring all of that over, into the business, into your dad's agency at the time. So it started as temporary. How did it become permanent?
Yeah, I think once you get into it and you actually see some of the recurring revenue, it's enticing. I don't have to reinvent the wheel every year. And when I was with Quill, they would preach it's a law of numbers. If you hit 130 doors a day, you're going to get 2 sales. And the same is, hey, if you make 130 calls today, or if you make, you're going to get the sale. Law of numbers. And really, if you're willing to work hard, you're going to get those sales. And then that reoccurring revenue year on year just continues to repeat itself. And you look back 5 years later and you're saying, wow, I got a stable 6 figures job if I don't make 1 sale this year, right? Or it could be sooner than that. It could be 2 years. Right, exactly. And then, okay, then how do we bump that 100,000 or 300,000 or whatever it's going to be? It's building on top of what you've already accomplished, rather than let's do a numbers game and just continue to repeat the sale.
Yo, what you just said, I hope somebody who is non-licensed and has never thought about getting into this industry just heard what you just said, because essentially what you just shared was, when you get into this industry, you work for 4 or 5 years. In that 4 or 5 year time period, you can establish a 6-figure or multi-6-figure income. And then at that point, even if you didn't do anything else, really, you're just kind of maintaining it. You're just changing the oil, on the vehicle. You're still going to maintain that income. You don't really have to do any more work. So you can just continue to build. Why wouldn't everybody just want to be in this business? I don't get it.
They don't know about it.
They don't know about it, right? I saw a statistic recently that there were only 422,000 insurance sales agents in the U.S.
That's not enough.
422,000, 330 million Americans in the country, with 422,000 insurance sales agents. That's a mind-blowing statistic, right? So thank you for sharing that, because that's a highlight.